Renton is a city in King County, Washington, United States, situated 11 miles southeast of downtown Seattle, Washington. Renton straddles the southeast shore of Lake Washington, at the mouth of the Cedar River. While long an important salmon fishing area for Native Americans, Renton was first settled by people of European descent in the 1860s, and its early economy was based on coal mining, clay production, and timber export. Today, Renton is best known as the final assembly point for the Boeing 737 family of commercial airplanes, but it is also home to a growing number of well-known manufacturing, technology, and service companies, including Boeing, Paccar, GEICO, Parallels, Inc., Providence Health and AMP Services, and Wizards of the Coast. The population was 90,927 at the 2010 census. Renton currently contains the 8th largest population in the state, and is the 4th largest in King County. The National Football League's Seattle Seahawks have a training facility in Renton. It is the second largest facility in the NFL at 200,000 square feet. History. Among the first European settlers in Renton were Henry Tobin and his wife Diana Tobin. The town of Renton was founded as the Renton Cooperative Coal Organization on February 16, 1895 by Erasmus M. Smithers. Smithers discovered coal there and brought in Charles D. Shattuck as the coal mine operator. Renton was incorporated as a city in 1901 when coal mining and timber processing were the most important economic industries in the area. The town was prone to flooding from the Cedar and Black Rivers. In 1916, the completion of the Lake Washington Ship Canal lowered the surface of Lake Washington several feet, which consequently eliminated drainage of Lake Washington through the Black River. The Cedar River was then diverted to drain into Lake Washington instead of the Black River. The culmination of these actions reduced the threat of annual flooding. The population sharply increased during World War II when Boeing built the Renton factory to produce the B-29 Superfortress. The game company Wizards of the Coast also is headquartered in Renton. Providence Health System has centralized its administrative offices in Renton, owing to its location at the confluence of 3 major freeways. Renton's economic development team has lured a number of specialty retailers that draw consumers from around the region, including Fry's Electronics and IKEA. Some retail establishments were unwanted though, and the city successfully defended zoning restrictions on pornographic theaters before the U.S. Supreme Court in Renton v. Playtime Theaters, Inc. Renton has a unique and well-loved institution in its library, built directly over the Cedar River. Designed by Johnston Campanella and AMP Co. in 1964 and opened in 1966, the Cedar River Library stretches 80 feet across the river, next to Liberty Park. The library was annexed into the King County Library System in 2010. The walkway in front of the library's entrance forms a deck from which salmon can be viewed as they make the way up the river, particularly during spawning season. In 2011, the iconic building was the center of much controversy, with the city of Renton and the King County Library System developing plans to build a new library closer to the downtown core. Residents wishing to retain the library in its river setting sponsored a petition, and were ultimately successful in convincing city leaders to put the issue to a vote of the people. On August 7, 2012, Renton voters decided the fate of the library with Proposition 1, and found 76% of the voting population supporting the Cedar River location. Discussions ensued between citizen activist groups, city leaders and KCLS over how the library plans would move forward in light of this change, and what effect it would have on the Highlands Library project. The library renovation moved ahead with a design by Miller Hull Architects. The newly renovated Renton Library opened on August 22, 2015. New developments, formerly synonymous with the large industrial companies such as Boeing and Kenworth, a pattern of future development was established with the attraction of the first IKEA in the Pacific Northwest to Renton in 1994. February 2007 saw the expansion of the Federal Aviation Administration's Northwest Mountain Regional Office across the street from its current headquarters. A new branch of the Federal Reserve Bank now calls Renton home, beginning operations in the spring of 2008 on the site of the former Longacres horse racing track. To date, myriad development of major retail, residential and revitalization projects are amidst planning, in construction, or have been successfully executed, among which include Port Quendel, a land parcel in North Renton that has become the new home to the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, housing the Seattle Seahawks headquarters and training facility that opened in August 2008. Before then, the Seahawks trained in Kirkland, Washington. The team's new state-of-the-art Renton facility, at an expansive 200,000 square feet, is the second-largest facility in the NFL. In the mid-1990s, Renton undertook a major redevelopment effort to revitalize its downtown core, which had declined in commercial prominence since the opening of the South Center Mall in Tukwila in 1968. The many car dealerships that had previously occupied the center of downtown Renton were encouraged through economic incentives to relocate to a newly created auto sales zone close to the I-405 State Route 167 interchange. In place of the old dealerships downtown, a new transit center and parking garage were built in partnership with King County Metro. Simultaneously, a number of privately developed mixed-use residential and retail buildings were also built within a one-block radius of the transit center, allowing for one-bus commutes to Seattle, Bellevue, Redmond, and other employment centers. A new town square, the Piazza, was constructed next to the transit center, and an existing car dealership building was heavily remodeled into an events center, now known as the Pavilion Building. The Piazza is home to a weekly farmers market during the summer months, as well as other community events throughout the year, while the city-owned Pavilion Building can be rented for parties, fundraisers, and other events, with on-site catering provided by a private caterer. Centered on former Boeing Co. property near the south shore of Lake Washington is a 68 acres development named The Landing. Two high-end apartment communities at The Landing, The Sanctuary and The Reserve, contain a combined 880 residences, targeting a young professional demographic. The first commercial tenants of The Landing arrived in October 2007, and as of March 2012, 80% of the retail space was occupied. The nearby Southport development, located directly on the shoreline of Lake Washington, was once the site of the Shuffleton power plant until it was demolished in 2001. Southport is now home to the Bristol Luxury Apartments, but further development in the form of mid-rise commercial office towers is anticipated. Geography. Renton is located at 47.486622 degrees north, 122.195163 degrees west, 47.486622 minus 122.195163 on the southeast shore of Lake Washington. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 23 23.54 square miles, of which 23.12 square miles is land and 0.42 square miles is water, most of which is the Cedar River. Potential annexation areas include the communities of Fairwood southeast of Renton, the East Renton Plateau on the eastern edge of Renton, and West Hill northwest of Renton. These communities are large unincorporated urban areas that are encouraged by the King County Annexation Initiative to incorporate as cities or annex into neighboring cities. As of 2012, these three parts are not part of the city of Renton, and not included in its demographics statistics. Renton is among a handful of cities in the Puget Sound region with an independent street grid system. Roads names beginning with sectional divisions generally follow a latitudinal direction, while roads names ending in a sectional direction generally follow a longitudinal direction. Many of the avenues in the city are named in honor of other cities in Washington. The city also has its own housing authority. This helps the city to avoid higher regional taxes. Renton is bordered to the north by the city of Newcastle, Washington. Along the east side of Renton is the border of the urban growth boundary established by King County. As such, there is no incorporated city directly east of Renton. The geographical characteristics of Renton's eastern border are varied and include the south flank of Cougar Mountain descending southward merging with the community of May Valley. The terrain then elevates south of May Valley to the communities of the East Renton Plateau before descending to the north bank of the Cedar River. Renton is bordered to the south by the city of Kent, Washington. The western border consists of the city of Tukwila, Washington, and finally the unincorporated King County community West Hill and Lake Washington to the northwest. Areas of Renton. Downtown Renton. In 2015, Esri estimated that in downtown Renton the total population was 3,019 and the average household income was $50,809. North Renton. In 2015, Esri estimated that in North Renton the total population was 8,211 and the average household income was $79,387. Northeast Renton. In 2015, Esri estimated that in Northeast Renton the total population was 44,626 and the average household income was $93,556. Southeast Renton. In 2015, Esri estimated that in Southeast Renton the total population was 39,066 and the average household income was $78,424. Southwest Renton. In 2015, Esri estimated that in Southwest Renton the total population was 3,551 and the average household income was $64,661. Climate demographics. As of 2000, the median income for a household in the city was $45,820, and the median income for a family was $55,747. Males had a median income of $40,765 versus $31,543 for females. The per capita income for the city was $24,346. About 7.0% of families and 9.7% of the population were below the poverty line, including 13.5% of those under age 18 and 8.4% of those age 65 or over. 2010 census. As of the census of 2010, there were 90,927 people, 36,009 households, and 21,849 families residing in the city. The population density was 3,932.8 inhabitants per square mile. There were 38,930 housing units at an average density of 1,683.8 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 54.6% white, 10.6% African American, 0.7% Native American, 21.2% Asian, 0.8% Pacific Islander, 6.2% from other races, and 5.8% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 13.1% of the population. There were 36,009 households, of which 32.4% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 43.2% were married couples living together. 11.9% had a female householder with no husband present. 5.5% had a male householder with no wife present, and 39.3% were non-families. 30.3% of all households were made up of individuals, and 7.9% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.51 and the average family size was 3.16. The median age in the city was 35.2 years. Of residents, 23.2% were under the age of 18, 8.8% were between the ages of 18 and 24, 33.5% were from 25 to 44, 24.4% were from 45 to 64, and 10.1% were 65 years of age or older. The gender makeup of the city was 49.5% male and 50.5% female. Economy: Boeing commercial airplanes, Boeing Capital, Providence Health and AMP Services, and Wizards of the Coast have their headquarters in Renton. The Boeing Renton factory has operated since World War II, when it manufactured the B-29 Superfortress, and currently produces the 737 airliner. The Renton plant produced the Jetfoil and Pegasus-class hydrofoils in the 1970s. As of 2001, 40% of all commercial aircraft in the air were assembled in Renton. Boeing remains the largest employer in Renton, which is home to over 10,000 employees and three of the aerospace giant's 6 major business divisions: Boeing Commercial Airplanes, Boeing Capital Corporation, and the Shared Services Group. The local newspaper in the 1970s, the Record Chronicle, proclaimed the city the jet capital of the world. Paccar has traditionally been a larger employer in the city as well, with its Kenworth truck plant located in Renton's industrial area on the south end of Lake Washington. In 1907, the Seattle Car MFG Company, also known as the Car Company, moved to a large manufacturing plant in Renton after demand for the company's railroad equipment exceeded the capacity of its Seattle plant. The Car Company was the only manufacturer of train cars on the West Coast. The Renton plant expanded to foundry capabilities in 1911, and Seattle Car and Foundry co-merged with the Toohey brothers of Portland in 1917 and became the Pacific Car and Foundry Company of Paccar. During the Great Depression, the Renton Paccar plant developed power winches for use in the logging industry. When World War II arrived, the Renton manufacturing switched its production towards the war effort, and by the war's end in 1945 had built 1,500 Sherman tanks. In the second half of the 20th century, there was not enough repeat business for Paccar-built train cars, as rail equipment in 1965 came to only 1/3 of the company's sales. Thus, the Paccar Renton plant began manufacturing structural steel until the 1970s recession. In the early 1980s, the Paccar Railcar division, the last remnants of the original Pacific Car and Foundry Co., closed down. In 1993, a new Kenworth assembly plant opened on the former site of Pacific Car and Foundry. Top employers. According to Renton's 2012 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the top employers in the city are: Education. Renton Technical College opened in 1942, originally as a war production school. Offers associate degrees and certificates of completion in professional or technical fields. Students in public schooling from kindergarten to 12th grade primarily attend schools within the Renton School District. Additionally, the Issaquah School District as well as the Kent School District serve small portions of unincorporated Renton neighborhoods. A Renton School District includes the following high schools: Hazen High School, Lindbergh High School, Renton High School. Middle schools: Dimmitt Middle School, McKnight Middle School, Nelson Middle School. Elementary schools: Benson Hill Elementary School, Bryn Mawr Elementary School, Campbell Hill Elementary School, Cascade Elementary School, Hazelwood Elementary School, Highlands Elementary School, Honeydew Elementary School, Kennydale Elementary School, Lakeridge Elementary School, Maplewood Heights Elementary School, Renton Park Elementary School, Sierra Heights Elementary School, Talbot Hill Elementary School, Tiffany Park Elementary School. The southern region of the Issaquah School District includes the following schools in unincorporated Renton neighborhoods: Liberty High School, Maywood Middle School, Apollo Elementary School, Briarwood Elementary School. The northeastern region of the Kent School District includes the following schools in unincorporated Renton neighborhoods: Meeker Middle School, Northwood Middle School, Carriage Crest Elementary School, Fairwood Elementary School, Glenridge Elementary School, Ridgewood Elementary School. Sister cities: Renton. Washington's sister cities are Nishiwaki, Highgard, and Cuautla, Jalisco. Transportation: Renton is served by King County Metro and Sound Transit Express buses. Clayton Scott Field, located just north of downtown Renton, houses several facilities that offer charter services and flight training. Notable residents: Jimi Hendrix, legendary rock guitarist, singer, lived in Renton for part of his childhood and has been buried in the city's Greenwood Cemetery since 1970. Brandon Roy, a former NBA basketball player for the Portland Trail Blazers, resides in Renton. Jamal Crawford, NBA player from the Los Angeles Clippers, grew up in Seattle, has a home in Renton and resides there during the off-season. Clint Eastwood, famous actor and director, was a lifeguard at Renton's Kennydale Beach in 1949, 1950, and 1953. Sam Longoria, Hollywood producer-director, grew up in Renton, graduating Renton High School. Avery Garrett, former mayor of Renton 1969, representative of 11th District 1977 to 1984, senator 1984 to 1985. Sean Kinney, drummer for Alice in Chains, grew up in Renton. Emily Rose, American actress known for her work on the Uncharted video game series and on the sci-fi television series Haven, was born in Renton. Marshawn Lynch, running back for the Seattle Seahawks. Zachary Levine, NBA player for the Minnesota Timberwolves of the National Basketball Association. He was selected in the first round of the 2014 NBA draft with the 13th overall pick by the Timberwolves. He won the slam dunk contest and participated in the Rising Stars Challenge during the 2015 NBA All-Star Weekend. Born in Renton, Washington,